Isaac del Toro is the revelation of the year. And to understand why the cycling world has fallen in love with him, I watched every race he's done as a professional. From his early wins as a U23 to his debut season with UAE, and of course, his jaw-dropping performance in the Giro d'Italia 2025, where Del Toro has been the star of the race. This is BikeFlix, and as always, we start at the beginning. Isaac del Toro Romero was born on November 27, 2003, in Ensenada, Baja California, Mexico. A place known for beaches, motorsport and food, not world-class cyclists. But from a young age, Del Toro was different. He wasn't discovered in a big European development team. He didn't grow up watching the Tour de France live. His road was longer, harder, and much more unlikely. Del Toro started riding late compared to most pros. He raced locally, often training alone on rough roads with no proper equipment. He didn't have the best bike, he didn't have power meters, but he had something better: grit and timing. By his mid-teens, he was dominating junior races across Mexico and into the US border circuit. He was tall, fluid on the bike, and smart in the bunch. His climbing was instinctive. His attacks were bold. And even without European exposure, word started to spread. Eventually, the Mexican Cycling Federation helped him get a spot in Europe for a short stint in the amateur scene. That was the break he needed. In 2023, Isaac del Toro joined the AR Monex Pro cycling team, a Mexican-Italian U23 development squad. It was low budget, far from the spotlight, but he made it shine. He began racing across Italy, Slovenia, France, and immediately he stood out. He wasn't just finishing well, he was racing with confidence, attacking on climbs, pacing time trials like a pro, and working tactically. His numbers didn't lie. Coaches noticed how consistent his effort was across terrain, a rare quality. And then came his moment. In August 2023, he lined up at the Tour de l'Avenir, the U23 version of the Tour de France, the biggest race in the world for young talent. Riders like Pogacar, Bernal, and Gaudu had all won it before. Nobody expected Del Toro to win. In fact, some didn't even know his name. But from stage one, he was everywhere, climbing with the best, attacking when others waited, sprinting for bonus seconds, smiling after every stage. And then, in the final mountain stages, he dropped the hammer. On stage 6, in the Alps, he attacked on the final climb, soloed to the finish, and took the yellow jersey. The cycling world blinked. Who was this kid? Commentators scrambled to learn how to pronounce his name. The next day, he defended the jersey, then defended it again. He won the GC. He also won the points classification and the mountains jersey. A triple crown. Total domination. That week changed his life. Offers came immediately. Everyone wanted him. But only one team already had his name on a contract: UAE Team Emirates. They had quietly signed him before the Tour de l'Avenir even started. A 4-year deal. They believed in him before the world saw what he could do. It was a masterstroke. In January 2024, Isaac del Toro arrived at his first training camp with UAE Team Emirates, one of the most dominant teams in professional cycling. The place where legends are built. Pogacar, Ayuso, Almeida, McNulty, Majka, all winners, all used to pressure, all used to racing at the front of the world's hardest races. And then there was Isaac, a 20-year-old rookie, quiet, focused, and watching everything. He didn't come in demanding attention. He wasn't there to be a star. He was there to learn, to observe, and from day one, he made an impression. At altitude camp in Spain, during early season tests, the coaching staff took note. His aerobic capacity was elite, not future potential elite, ready now elite. His lactate threshold, his recovery rate, his watt per kilo, all off the charts. He wasn't just a climber, He was a full engine. But in a team like UAE, numbers don't guarantee leadership. You need patience. You need humility. And above all, you need to earn your spot. So that's what Del Toro did. He asked questions, sat with Pogačar and listened, took mental notes when Ayuso explained nutrition, learned from Almeida how to suffer in silence. He studied them all, and then he trained. Harder than anyone. Long hours, no complaints, no excuses. Even when jet-lagged, even when tired, even when dropped. His World Tour debut came early in the season at a smaller Spanish race. A test. Then came O Gran Camino, Volta a Catalunya, Tour de Romandie, each race tougher, each field deeper. He wasn't winning, but he was learning fast. He climbed with the front groups. He didn't panic in technical descents. He held position in crosswinds. He rode with maturity far beyond his age. While the headlines went elsewhere, the whispers started to grow. Inside the UAE bus, staff began saying it. This kid's different. Not just strong, wise. Not just fast, fearless. Del Toro wasn't racing for the cameras. He was racing for trust. And by the end of 2024, he had earned it. Then came January 2025. Del Toro was sent to the Tour Down Under in Australia, his first major World Tour race with pressure and media coverage. Expectations? Low. He was there to support. But in stage 3 something happened. A short climb. A late attack. Del Toro surged ahead of the leaders with 500 meters to go. And won. Clean. Smooth. Calm. His first professional victory. And the cycling world took notice. In the stages that followed, he kept attacking. Kept following the right moves. Kept smiling. And by the end of the week, he stood on the final podium. From that moment, everything changed. Next came Tirreno Adriatico, where he helped the team in the mountains and finished in the top 20 overall. Then Itzulia, Basque country, where he fought among GC contenders on brutal technical climbs. No podium, no trophies, but he was there, always there. And then, the big decision. UAE Team Emirates added his name to the Giro d'Italia roster, not as a leader, not even as a co-leader, but as a wildcard, a rider to watch, a maybe. They didn't know what he would become. Now they do. The Giro d'Italia 2025 was supposed to be a test of endurance, a test of patience, a chance to learn. Nobody expected Isaac del Toro to dominate it. Not in the first week, not in the second, and yet, that's exactly what happened. From the opening stages, he looked sharp, strong in the time trials, smooth on the climbs, focused in the chaos. And then, stage 7, the turning point. A tricky summit finish, a late acceleration. Del Toro followed the GC favourites and then dropped them. No big celebration. Just a quiet smile as he crossed the line. The pink jersey was his. At first, people called it a fluke. Too early, too risky. But then came stage 9, and he defended it. Then stage 11, and he did it again. And by the time the race entered its brutal second week, the story had already changed. Del Toro wasn't the surprise of the Giro. He was the star of the Giro. As of stage 15, he's still in pink. Still leading. Still riding like he's done it 100 times before. We don't know how this ends. There are 6 stages to go. Anything can happen. But no matter what, one thing is certain. This has been his race, his way of announcing himself to the world. Not with noise, not with drama, just with legs, logic, and flawless timing. In 3 weeks, Isaac del Toro went from a promising prospect to a name that keeps every GC rider up at night. He attacked like Pogačar, defended like Bernal, and smiled like someone who's been here before, even though he hasn't. Del Toro isn't just rewriting his own story, he's lighting the way for a whole continent. Since the golden days of Nairo Quintana, Rigoberto Urán, and Richard Carapaz, Latin America has been searching for its next Grand Tour champion. For a while, it seemed like the momentum had faded. Colombian cycling had stalled. Ecuador's golden moment looked like a one-off. Then came Isaac. From Mexico, a country that had never produced a GC contender at this level. No one expected it. Not from Baja California, not from a rider who didn't come through the European Academy system. But that's what makes it special. He didn't arrive through the usual door. He broke it open. And now, kids across Mexico are watching, dreaming, believing. Del Toro has already said it. If my Giro inspires even one young cyclist back home to start training, it's worth it. He's humble, but he knows what this means. For his country, for Latin America, for cycling. This isn't just a breakout, it's a beginning. On the bike, Isaac del Toro is explosive. On the climbs, he's ruthless. But off the bike, he's still, quiet, reserved. Del Toro doesn't post flashy selfies. He doesn't talk trash. He rarely speaks unless he has something to say. When cameras are on, he lowers his voice. When the press pushes, he keeps it short. Not because he's shy, but because he's focused. His teammates say he's serious, but warm. Funny in the bus. Relaxed at dinner. Always asking questions. Always listening. He reads a lot. Travels light. Doesn't care about cars or watches. He just wants to ride. Even his training style is simple. No ego. No overkill. Long hours. Smart nutrition. And recovery. Lots of recovery. He doesn't overtrain. He doesn't chase numbers. He builds, slowly, carefully. When asked what motivates him, he once said, "I don't want to be famous. I want to be better." That's Isaac del Toro, not a brand, a rider. The Giro isn't even over, and people are already asking the big questions. Can he win a Tour de France? Is he the next Pogacar? What happens now? The truth is, we don't know. Not yet. He's only 21. He hasn't even finished his first Grand Tour, but that hasn't stopped the hype. Because what we've seen so far, it's real. United Arab Emirates will have decisions to make. Vuelta? Maybe. Tour? Maybe 2026. They'll want to protect him, keep the pressure low, give him time. But the world isn't going to wait. Every director is watching. Every rider is watching. Every fan with a dream is watching. Because what Isaac del Toro has done in this Giro is not just rare, it's almost impossible. From unknown to pink jersey, from hopeful to hero. Now comes the hard part, doing it again. There's something unique about how Isaac del Toro races. It's not loud, it's not flashy, it's surgical. In a generation of explosive talents where riders win with massive surges and media soundbites, del Toro is the outlier. He wins with precision, with timing, with cold blood. He doesn't chase every attack. He doesn't burn watts to look strong. He waits. He calculates, and when he goes, he makes it count. Look at his Giro. He didn't light up every stage. He chose moments. Moments when everyone else was suffering. When the GC leaders hesitated. When the gradients bit back. That's when Isaac moved. He doesn't need a big acceleration to create distance. He just raises the tempo, holds it longer, and lets the others explode behind him. It's not chaos, it's control. His way of racing is almost unsettling. No wasted energy, no emotional overdrive, just pure measured aggression. Riders like Evenepoel win with fireworks. Pogacar wins with instinct. Vingegaard with calculation. Del Toro? He wins with rhythm. A steady, unbreakable rhythm that suffocates the group behind him. It's like watching a metronome attack the mountains. And that's what makes him so terrifying. He's only 21. He's in his first Grand Tour. And yet, he rides like someone who's already seen the script and knows how it ends. He's not just the best young rider right now. He might be the most complete GC blueprint of the new generation. If this is just the beginning, the rest of the peloton better pay attention. Because Del Toro isn't trying to be the next big thing. He's inventing a new way to win. No one expected it. Not from Mexico. Not from a 21-year-old in his first Grand Tour. Not from a rider who started on dusty roads with no support, no spotlight, no plan B. But here we are. Whether he wins or not, the Giro d'Italia 2025 will be remembered for one name, Isaac del Toro, the rider who turned a wildcard invitation into a leadership role, who defended the Maglia Rosa like a veteran, who made the race his own. He didn't scream, he didn't celebrate, he just rode. And now the world knows what he's capable of. He's not the next anyone, not the new Bernal, not a Mexican version of Pogacar. He's just Isaac, and cycling may never be the same.